Hello. So I hope you've been enjoying all the recent animations I've been doing for the classic Doctors, like I did for the New Who ones a few years back. I thought, why not take you through a particular one of them, which is my my second Doctor. This is the Two Doctors one, but I recently got it in the B&M stuff. Yeah, so the second Doctor animation, one with the Weeping Angel. I thought I'd just take you through how I do my animation step for step. Thought it might be something people will be interested in. So, to start with, I either write a script, or for these, I like to use the dialogue from the actual episodes, because otherwise I've got to try and do impressions from people, and it's just simpler. It's a nice little editing technique to, or editing practice to take the dialogue from the episodes anyway. And put that together. So to start with, I always decide which monsters I'm going to put with my Doctors. Originally I was going to do the silence with the second Doctor, but when I started going through the episodes I could use and the dialogue I could use to make it, the Weeping Angels worked a lot better, so I'm really happy with this one. So, to start with, I've actually already done it, but to start with, I would go onto a website called Doctor Who Transcripts. Really helpful website. Because it gives you every single Doctor's episodes in word form, so I can just go through and I can choose, I can search for certain words and find which episodes to do. For the second Doctor, it was actually the simplest one for me to put together because it all came from the same episode. So I knew I wanted to do something creepy, so I thought to myself, well, there's definitely creepy sections in the Mind Robber. So that's where I went, and once I got there, I would search for certain words that I need. So I'd type in door, let's say, to try and get the bit where they enter the creepy house, or I could even type something along the lines of statue, but that's only because I know it. That's what I'm looking for, and they give me the Medusa section, which is a section I've mentioned before. So once I'd done that, I would then go and I would download the part of the episode I need. And I would open it up with my editing program. I use something called Shotcut, which is completely free, and it gives me all the features that I personally need in order to do it. Sometimes it's a little bit glitchy because that happens with these programs because it's free, but they do tend to give you updates with bug fixes, so that's good. Of course, I got up here my second Doctor episode partly edited already. So let's start anew so I can show you how it is I do the editing of the episode. So where is the episode? The episode is there. So we open up the Mind Robber, and then what I'll do is I'll search through the episode for the sections that I found in the transcript that I want to use. So in this case, I've just got to try and find the bit where they first enter the creepy old house, which is just here.
Yes, look. Side.
You get the idea. So that then leads into all the bit I normally do. However, the Doctor then starts.
Easy to get lost in there. Just a moment. What's it about?
And I decided to cut out the bit about the Doctor talking about the twine as well, because that's only for the labyrinth section of the scene, not the creepy house, which is what I want to put into mine. So I'd cut that bit out. So I'll just put all those bits together, so then I can follow the narrative, and that would then lead into the bit I found later about the statue and Medusa, which would give me my my climax for the Weeping Angel. So, having a quick look at the one I made myself, the half-edited version. Okay, so this is where I start to sort of overlap the sound in order to try and put it in time with the animation I've already done. So really that puts us straight on to the animating. So I think that means it's time to head down to the garage, which is where I like to animate. So let's go. So, right now I'm just trying to build a bit of the set, so I'll show you a little bit of that, but probably won't film forever on that one. So far I've just taken an old piece of, this is an old set from a different one. I've just taken an old piece with the door cut out. I think I used it for Ice Warrior spaceship and whatnot before, and I'm just going to try and build one of the walls for this particular animation. So, first up, now this is something I'm trying completely new. I'm going to cut out this little bit to make the table. So, I take my old piece, this tiny piece of cardboard, I can build the entire table. So, let's have a go. Made a bit of a typewriter. The original plan was to have this as the all the keys, so I could underneath the table move it up and down, but it just didn't look right. It doesn't look very good, so I gave up with that, and I'm now doing it in post with editing on the computer frame by frame. You would have already seen this, but for me I haven't done it yet, so hopefully in the story it worked, because here's the typewriter in the table. So I've done lots of little keys. It's mainly made out of lollipop sticks and super glue. But my glue gun's broken, annoyingly. I normally use, but yeah. So I've just got the stick across there, so then I can grab this piece of card, for example, put that in the back. Of course, I've still got my hole underneath where I was going to do the sticks, so I can bring the paper underneath the table and push it up from underneath, hopefully with the writing on. There you go. So I got all my furniture out. I just wanted to say that I tend to use these things. They come with bedding. They come between bed sheets and stuff like that. They're really helpful, so they always come out like this, and I just put tack sets to them. They work really well for me because they just stand up, and they're there to stick anything I print, mainly from AFT downloads. Please check them out because they're great. Too. It just works really well. I can just stick wherever I want to, wherever I want. I have set up the set like this. I've also changed the lighting slightly, so my lights being these ones over here, you can sort of see it. Yeah, I have photography lights like this. I've brought it down much slower and closer and slightly off, because this one I wanted to have some shadows going on, so that casts sort of a shadow across this wall here. And I think hopefully that will work really nicely with black and white. I haven't actually done animation with black and white yet, so I might do a quick test with my phone for the black and white. So if I just bring up my, that's text, bring up my camera, take a quick photo, just do a nice well, anyway, there's that one there. So actually, yeah, I think I'm pretty ready to animate, so I'll take you through that bit. Now, it might be surprising for some of you to hear, but I actually use an app on my old iPod. Oh well, my current iPod. This is a free app. There's a few features you don't get unless you pay a couple of quid, but it's a really great app. So far, I haven't found anything better. I've been using it for years. I've been using it the entire time I've been animating on this channel. And it's just really simple to use. You take the pictures, it gives you onion skin, which is the overlapping of the frame before, and saves it as a film onto your iPod, and you can take it straight to your computer. I have actually had this on 2 different iPods now. This is of course the this isn't the newest iPod, this is the one before that, because they don't make iPods anymore, so I don't know what I'm going to do when this breaks. But yeah, let me take you through how this app works and how I use this app. I tend to watch silly detective stuff that I only have to half pay attention to in the background on my laptop there. But I won't for now. So, new movie. Oh, the other great thing about it is I can use my iPad called the remote, and so if I can connect them together. I haven't been doing this for very long. I've only had my iPod for a couple of years. iPad, sorry. I can watch what I'm doing here on my iPad, and I don't have to touch the screen and knock it to take the picture. I can take it here. So that's really helpful. So, simply set up the shot. I think it might come a little bit lower. Oh, by the way, this is a Z pod. It goes up and down, and of course this is just a phone holder I've got on there. It's very old now. This is quite new, this one. I got this one just for the last half of the second series of Parallel. Before I used a knockoff Gorilla Pod, but this is much more sturdy, and it can get me right down at the heights I need, so that's really helpful. So I've brought you much closer so you can see exactly what it is I'm doing. I just need to obviously set up a shot. How tall is the second Doctor? I suppose he's the shortest, so I should probably judge it by Jamie's height. That look alright? Oh, that's the other thing, because I'm doing a classic, I tend to put the grid on and make sure that I don't use the two grids on the side there, so then I can put in the bars later, the bars on the side. Yeah, so bearing that in mind, I tend to have to bring the camera out a bit further, but that'll probably help. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that, so let's get Jamie back out the way. That is my first frame. And then processing, done. So, with this, I'm hoping the set doesn't move too much. If it does, I have to start again. But, of course, as you know from stop motion, it goes shot after shot after shot. I think I've already knocked the set there. But that's what's great about Tool's onion skin. You can see exactly the last frame over the top of this frame. And sometimes I can correct myself. Sometimes. It's less of a jump there, and that'll probably be fine. So, second frame. So I had a bit of a problem. The door seems to be pulling the wall at the back forward at the same time, so I click cancel on that shot, and I grab myself my blue tack, which I've helpfully misplaced. It's buried under all the extra props out on the side, so I've got it now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blue tack this set at the back in place over there, so then it won't jog around. Sometimes it's also tempting to take stuff like this that's balancing and just add a little bit of blue tack. So, I've done that now. Just going to watch it back. Oh, and if you're really silly like I am, you forget to lock the exposure. So what happens is the light flickers. So you get this horrible flicker. However, thinking about it, that might work really nicely for this particular animation, being in black and white, being in this spooky house. So we'll see about that one. But so next is you have this little slider, so you can how many frames you put per second. I tend to not be able to do 15 because I'm too lazy and I don't do enough. So I just bring it down so the motion is a little bit slower. Overall though, I'm not that happy with that particular animation I've got there, so I'm going to redo that. But I won't show you the redoing because it'd be exactly the same. I'll come back to you once I've animated a bit more. Thought I'd show you this one, doing something a little bit different. I've got a mirror there, as you can see here on the screen. So I thought I'd do a shot for the mirror. Might as well show you how I do this bit as well. I have this horrible habit of liking to leave my so many frames on a round number, normally a digit of 5, which is slightly problematic really, and I've got to try and stop doing it. If you haven't noticed, I like to make up most of these shots as I go along, but there's no shot list. I should probably start doing something like that, but I sort of just have the script and I go, how would be the best way to do this shot? Sometimes I do think I want that particular shot when I write the script, but for the most part I tend to just decide it as I go. So I'm quite happy with that, but I'd like to set it down a little bit. Probably a tiny bit more. Yeah, and then export, and I can export it straight to my iPod library. 3/4 of the way through the animation now, and I thought I'd just show you me putting together the set that we started building together earlier, which is of course the one with the typewriter. So let's get out of the way all these little bits from the last set. Okay, so now we've done the animating, we're going to move on to the editing. Of course I use my program I've mentioned before, the shortcut. However, I used to use Movie Maker. So first off I'm going to show you how I would edit this with that particular program, because that's a much more easily accessible program that most people have. So personally I use a HDMI cable from Poundland to just put it into my TV, so I have 2 screens. So I can just show you what I can do on this screen. Open up Movie Maker. Put it over here. Okay, so of course first off I've got to try and find the audio again, so that's a bit annoying. But let's just grab the opening scene that I've already edited. Let's just throw that all together like that. Okay, so I add those in. Of course, it always takes a minute to prepare. So if you have any pictures, it's always good to remember to make them. I make them normally a couple of seconds long. Depends on the speech. So, okay, so this is when you're going to bring in your audio. Of course, I've got to now go through the whole of the mind rubber part that I have in order to get a specific piece of audio. Okay, so as you can see, I've now got all my audio from the episode that I need. So I took out the stuff about Ball of Twine that we mentioned before. So now I've just got to try and fit the audio with the animation that I've done. So with any luck, I've sort of animated everything to take the amount of time I expect the audio to last for. That's why I watch everything back and I make it the right speed when I'm animating with the amount of frames per second. Sometimes it doesn't quite work and I have to refit for stuff in, so that's where the editing comes in. So it obviously starts with the door sound. door sound goes on a bit long, really. It's a very long door sound, so I can just you just click split, and then the next door sound, I believe is this one. That's quite a long door sound again, but I want it to end there because that's when the door closes. So I'll split that, and I will have it start there. So because the door doesn't close yet, that's a bit later in my version. So just bring that down there out of the way, and bring this audio, I believe, of Zoe further forward. So let's watch that. But there's quite a bit of random not going ons there, so let's just start it there.
Well, there must be somebody here. These candles are alight. Look.
Hello there!
So that's probably where I want my door sound to come in, so I'll do that. Of course the door closes twice there, so I'm going to want to split this part of the animation in half. Somewhere along those lines. Split the video in half and put that the other side, but then also this is him walking forward with his arm, so I would want this one to also be split there and come the other side of him turning round. So it should look something along the lines of this. The door sound comes in way too late. So what I can do is I can slow this piece of animation down a bit.
Well, there must be somebody here. These candles are alight. Look.
But that's a bit too slow. So what I can do is I can come in, and the closer to 0 it is, the faster it is. So just put it as 2. Oh, closer to 0. So sorry, I meant to do something like 7.
Look.
Hello there!
Well, there must be somebody here. These candles are alight. Look.
Hello there!
Hey, stop. And we are meant to go on.
Yes, I think we are.
But that means that wherever we
Well, Zoe talks first, so we'll actually bring Zoe the other side of him.
means that wherever we go, at any time, they know. They're expecting us.
There we go. So that'll be the end of that scene. So, in order to give it the look we want for the black and white, the 60s look, we would actually come up to the visual effects, we select all of them, it's Control A, and we can go through all these different black and white features here. So we've got this one, this one, and this one. These are all where they take out or increase different colours in it, so it's between red, green and blue, the RGB. Personally, I quite like this slightly darker one, so I think we'll probably go for that. And that's that scene edited, so that's how I'd normally do it, and I would save it like that. So let's have a watch of that. Now it's finished.
Well, there must be somebody here. These candles are alight. Look.
Hello there!
Hey, stop. And we are meant to go on.
Yes, I think we are.
But that means that wherever we go, at any time, they know. They're expecting us.
Okay, and I forgot that we would also want to have some music. So what we can do with that, because this audio here is music, we would add our own narration, because that means we can put them both at the same time. And personally, I'm using music from the actual episodes, from the 50th anniversary music that they brought out. So I'll probably just use a tension builder there. And
Well, there must be somebody here. These candles are alight. Look.
And if you come to project, you can either emphasise the narration, emphasise the video, emphasise the music, or don't emphasise any of them. We would want to emphasise the the music because that's our audio.
Hey, it's locked.
Then we are meant to go on.
Yes, I think we are.
And you probably want to go for the 4x3, so that way it looks more like 60s Doctor Who, and that'll be it. That'll be you saving that, and that's how I used to do it. But now I have my my new program, so we'll close this and we'll go have a look at that. Okay, so with this new program I actually normally use 2 screens. So let's close what we were doing for Movie Maker and open up Shotcut, which is obviously the program I mentioned before, and together we can edit together the final few scenes of that I haven't done yet of the typewriter. Actually, before I did the typewriter, originally I was going to do it practically with the sticks underneath the table, but that didn't turn out. So instead I decided to edit each frame, so then the keys move like this. You see each key, I've just gone into paint.net and I've messed around a bit with the features just to be able to do that. I won't go into that one. It's not something I normally do with my animations. This is actually something slightly different to do that. So let's start the editing.
Was it?
And that's the end. I would then export it, and that would be the video I put on YouTube. Of course, I'd add the theme as well and a bit of text. Usually something I do with Movie Maker because it's just easier. Yeah, and then I'll put it on YouTube and you'd get to see it. So that brings us to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more like this again, and I won't do it too often, but I can do it again. And I really hope you enjoy the rest of the little figure minisodes that I'm going to be doing. And I really hope you check out this finished one, which I'll put a link somewhere, which you can go check out. There's other ones from the new Who Doctors, including the 13th. If you want to check that out as well, they're already on my channel. And I've got other projects coming up, maybe some custom figures soon. We'll see. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon. Bye.